in the general channel of Okaloosa Focus Training Team. And this notebook it's like your manual. It's the manual that has all the information about everything related to being a gradebook manager and to accessing the first 4 topics in Focus. So I'm going to walk you through some of that. And I know not everybody is really up on Teams, but it's really the best format for me to send you information rather than sending you 500 emails. This is going to be much more efficient, and it will keep your Outlook box from getting too full. So when I click on the staff notebook, what channel am I in? General channel. Your brain's going to tell you to go to the Gradebook Manager channel. And when you go there, you aren't going to see the staff notebooks. I don't want anybody to get lost. Here's Gradebook Manager, and there's no notebook up here. So if you don't see it, go back to General. Here's what the staff notebook looks like. This manual is not just for gradebook managers. It's for registrars, schedulers. It's for all different departments in Okaloosa schools. So that's why I need to show you around. So here we are. You see the bookcase up here? That's how you get into the table of contents. I have a million things on the left. I actually have a little section for each one of you, and this is where you would turn in things. But your information is right here, Gradebook Manager, and it's under the Content Library. If you see Content Library, you can go ahead and click on it, and then see Registrars, Schedulers, Gradebook Managers. And if you click on Gradebook Manager, these are the pages that relate to Gradebook Managers. And you'll notice there's a lot of Gradebook Manager information. The first thing in here says Training Timeline. And I'm going to click on the space and it will expand the screen. Attending the initial Gradebook Manager training is what you're doing today, and you'll get 4 hours of credit in your frontline training for being here today. And today is paid. If you didn't know that, yay! It's not part of your stipend. So you will get additional monies. Not a lot, but you'll get additional monies for being here today. The second thing up here, notice this right here. It says offer a teacher training at your school during the month of July for interested teachers. So before you worry, just take a deep breath. It'll be okay. If you're going to Hawaii, yay, I'm happy for you. Go to Hawaii. Go have fun. If you could talk to the other gradebook managers before you leave and just say, hey, is there somebody who's happy to go ahead and offer this training in July? We just want at least one training to happen at each school site. This is coming from Steve Horton. He wanted to be able to let teachers touch base with their actual gradebook managers over the summer if they wanted to attend an optional training. So if 5 people show up, yay! You did your job. You did great. You don't have to recruit anybody. You don't have to get anybody there. You will have to set it up in Frontline so teachers can sign up. And we are advertising this training on the Okaloosa Schools webpage. It says okaloosaschools.com/focus. And there's a big calendar. And when you click on that, you'll see the gradebook trainings for teachers that are currently scheduled for all the different schools in Okaloosa County. In addition, I'm doing 8 trainings. I'm doing 6 of them here, and I'm doing 2 down at the central, is it the boardroom or training facility area? Is the boardroom? Yeah. I'll be down there on July 26th. So those trainings are also listed on that schedule. And if you're the person and you're like, I'm okay with doing this, talk to your admin. Say, we need to do this training. Is there a place? Is there a time? Work with them, because they're probably stripping floors and who knows what all they're doing. And if they cannot schedule a training, that's okay. We just want to try to offer it if we can. Everyone in the district will have the option for training on August the 8th. There will be 2 tracks. There'll be the track for the people who were in Hawaii and didn't come to a training and couldn't care less, because guess what? They're trying to rest. They're trying to rest up. And I've been a teacher for 30 years. I know exactly what that feels like. So that's okay. There'll be a track for them. And then there will be a track for those who have or who come during the summer and get the training from you or from me. And there'll be more information about that. We're creating it as we go. There'll be a workshop that I will send you a copy of, and you can create, or not you, because you all are not the PD people necessarily at your school. But I'll create it, I'll send it to you, and you give it to the PD person at your school so they can set that up. Any questions about all that? Yes, ma'am.
Do teachers that come to the training that we give at our school get in-service hours?
If you get that PD person to write up that workshop, yes. And if they come, do they get paid?
That would be a
Teachers?
question for their admin. My understanding is that they come in July, they will.
Yes, that's what we were saying.
Yeah.
If teachers come for optional training in July
Yes.
for Gradebook, Focus Gradebook, then they will get paid for those 3 hours,
And
up to 3
all
hours.
teachers are going to be getting what we call a postcard. They're going to get a postcard that's going to talk about this a little bit. It's a little small postcard. It's going to have a link to the site where they can go and see all of the different trainings. We would prefer if they went to their school to be trained, because you're the person that's going to be helping them out, and they need to get used to asking you those questions, as opposed to getting frustrated and asking their neighbor and maybe not getting the right information. But they can always do one of our trainings that we've got here in the tech lab or at Central.
It's a huge notebook. So it's building your section of the notebook. And what's kind of cool about that is you can go in and write in that section of the notebook by your name, and only you can see it and me. Everybody else doesn't see anything you put in there. So that is the ideal spot for you to upload that plan for your school. So once you've got it figured out, and I would definitely say talk to your admin, because sometimes they want to be involved in who is going to be the gradebook manager for whoever. So once you have that figured out, the school-wide master training plan, that's a wonderful name. I had a hard time coming up with the name. It's like, I want the master plan. Yes. So this one-page list of all the gradebook managers in the school and the names of the teachers they're responsible to train, you could upload that into your section of the notebook. And I would have it, rather than having to open 150 emails just on that one piece. And of course, I will open the email if you have trouble. But it would be much better if you would just upload it into your section of the notebook. I would like to have the master plan figured out by August the 5th, just so we have it ready to roll. And if it doesn't get to me until August the 31st, I am okay. Okay? So goal is have it early. 31st is the absolute last date. And again, if your school hasn't turned in one, then Titan Teleforce is probably not going to be available for you, except for your names. I will send them your names, but they won't be able to help your teachers if they call in.
Some of you may not have used ClassLink in a while, or you may have. If you ever get one that says to get 2 little boxes that says to please enter your password twice, here's why you do that.
Yes.
You can hit cancel, and yes, it'll let you in. Eventually, it will disconnect you from your Microsoft and your Google accounts, because those are safeguards so that Microsoft and Google know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And if you keep hitting cancel, the same thing with your students, because they're going to get it when they start the year, it will not connect them eventually to all of their programs. So just a thing, if you've done that many times, that's fine, but eventually it will disconnect you from your profile.
Okay, so the plan is a graduated rollout of Focus. We've got information from, 30, 40 departments that has been going into AS400 for 40 years, and we are just now converting all that information into Focus. Focus is not like a standalone thing and we fit to it. No, we've been working and in talks with Focus since, I remember, September of last year, working on integrating all that information, all those departments, and making it appropriate for Okaloosa County. So all of the pieces are not fully in place yet, and we are working as fast as we possibly can every single day to make this happen. So to that end, we haven't figured everything out. So So our focus team is broad, and the work that they're doing is really intense right now, so I can't give you the answer to every single question. So are we ready to get started? Did everybody go through class link to access Focus? All right. Focus will be available at home as well, just like it is at school. And you can access it, from home. All right, so that was getting in, and that is a major goal. You're going to help your teachers get in to Focus and help them find help if they can't get in. That's one of our first and most important goals. Second, since today is in the training room, we're going to be using the app icon in ClassLink that looks like a little superhero owl with a cape on, and it says training. Okay, our goals, as I said, it was a graduated rollout. Our goal for today's training is for teachers and for you to feel comfortable accessing what we're calling the first 4 topics. We want them to know how to get in and navigate around and Focus. Then we're going to tell them ways to take attendance and what all the information about taking attendance. And then we're going to talk about discipline. And if the student's acting up in class and it's a really important thing for admin to address, and if it's not a really important thing but you want to document it. So we'll have discipline, and then we'll talk about Gradebook, how to set up your Gradebook, and also how to do assignments in your Gradebook. And those are the main goals that you're going to be addressing with your teachers. And we want you to feel comfortable with those things. This graduated release is going to work this way. You're getting the first 4 today, and then I'm going to have a meeting every month in Teams. You can attend or not attend. The information will be posted in Teams, and I'll host an hour, 3 days of each month where you can come in and ask questions. I could demo something for you if you would like. I'll try to record those meetings, and they will be also in the Gradebook Manager section of the team. They won't be in general, they'll be in the Gradebook Manager section. And the nice thing is when I do a meeting in there, I'll start that meeting, and if you go into Teams, into the Gradebook Manager area, you'll see a big blue ribbon across it and the word Join. And you click that big blue ribbon with Join. Don't go up in the top and click on the little camera that's up here. Don't do that one, because that starts a meeting. And you'll be starting a meeting while I'm having a meeting, and we'll be missing our meetings. Okay, big blue ribbon and Join. And that's for Gradebook Managers. I'll do it one in September, October, November, December. Our workshop, your 24 recertification points, ends January the 13th. That's when you will get your 24 points for your workshop. Your teacher workshop, if you do July, is going to end no later than the end of September. They'll attend the training that you give them, and then we want them to connect with their Gradebook Manager. Once they've had some kind of training with their Gradebook Manager, and it could be August the 8th, or it could be later if they're off in Hawaii still and they didn't make it back. Once they've met with their Gradebook Manager, there's a QR code, and they will do a survey and submit that QR code, go to Frontline, do their workshop in Frontline, their survey in Frontline, and they'll be done, and they'll get their points for the July training. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do with the team here. I've shown you the first part of the table of contents. We looked at the timeline. If your PD person is going to write up this July workshop, that's the second one here. And I've just done it as an example, okay? It's not, perfect and finished. They may need to adjust things. Don't just copy it. But it looks like this. Has all the information that your site-based, professional development person will need to do it. Notice this date. You will need to change this date for the date of your July training, and the location. And you'll put in your follow-up date. I know that's really long, September 30th. You don't need to make it that long. That's just a giant window so they have enough time to connect with their Gradebook Manager. They really need to connect by the end of August, don't you think? Don't you think that would be better? So your dates will be different than this. Your location will be different than this. All right, August goals and handouts. These are handouts for you to use and for your teachers. These are okay to give to them. And this note page that I gave you all, that everybody has one, oh, here it is. Your note page is also here, note-taking handout. If you want to share that with your staff, you can open it up, print it out, and hand it out if you want to. I'll show you what that looks like. I'm clicked on navigation. In the and it will show up like this. It's got pictures and step-by-step information on here. And if you wanted to print it, you just go to File. It's a Word document, and you would click Print and print it. That's how you access these things in Teams. All of these are links to step-by-steps and nice, quick handouts for your teachers and yourself to use. Now I'm going to go back to the table of contents. I want you to notice it says untitled page, and I don't know why it's not giving me the title. These are navigation videos, and this blue link is the only one that works. It takes you directly to the Focus University training site. I just put them in here in case you need to find them, and I wanted to show you what that would look like. Teacher navigation, that's what our topic is. And this little drop down shows you the different videos that we have. How to use the NAV portal page, how to set preferences, the NAV student search, and how to do student screens. So when you click on it, this one's 16 minutes, this one's 6 minutes, 10 minutes, 8 minutes. So that's kind of how it gets you around in that. I have all the videos on separate pages depending on what you need to use. And you don't have to show all of these. If you showed these all to your people, they would, probably want to run screaming out of the room. So this is selected resources as you need them. You decide what needs to be shared so that your teachers can do those 4 things. You're getting a double dose of what they're getting. So when you want to go back and look at more, you have access to it. Your teachers have access to these same videos in the Focus website. You just have them all in a different location if you want it. Attendance videos. These are all the videos all about taking attendance, the attendance chart, the absence summary. So you see how it works? Everybody's okay with that? Videos about discipline. There's 4 of them. And then Gradebook. I have a separate table of contents for Gradebook. Please do not just send out links. It's too much information. This same set of videos is available in the Focus website for your teachers. All right, this right here, the Complete Teacher Manual, this is for your use only. This is the in-depth manual, 110 pages long. Please don't print it out. You aren't going to need it or refer to it. If you try to email this to your teachers, it's going to shut down our Wi-Fi. It's too big. It's too much information. But you can refer to it, print a page or 2 out of it if you need it, if somebody has a particular question. Here is your hard copy kind of a resource that you can use for that. And again, when we get into Gradebook, I've broken down the videos by section. They're all right here in the Gradebook table of contents. I just broke them down separately. If you just want to talk about basic Gradebook information, the settings videos, category videos, all that information is here. I do want to draw your attention to this, Gradebook Kindergarten Tap. How many of you have kindergarten teachers at your school that you might potentially be the Gradebook manager for? Just raise your hand up. A lot of people. So Gradebook for kindergarten teachers is a little bit different than it is for everybody else. And they have a different grading scale. And there's like just a couple things that I'm going to want you to pay really close attention to for them. And if you don't have any kindergarten teachers at your school, then that won't apply. But if you do, you can open this up and you could print this page out, and they will be able to see the little bit of information that's special to them. And it's only 2 pages. So So that's not a bad thing to hand to them. I think if I was in your shoes, I would hand this to the kindergarten teachers as well. All right. Now I have 2 surveys here. One says GBM Gradebook Manager QR code, and one says Teacher Survey QR code. Don't get them mixed up. The Teacher Survey code is for me to know that the teachers met with their Gradebook Manager. So when the Gradebook Manager trains your teachers, then the teachers will complete this QR code survey. And that will come directly to me, and I'll know that they met with their Gradebook Manager, and I can give them their points for that training in July. And I can get feedback if training didn't go well or whatever. Yes,
I
ma'am?
have a couple of teachers who do not have smartphones.
And that's okay because, where did I put it? I didn't put it here. I'll find it. There is a link for them,
Okay.
and you'll just copy the link and email it to them, and they can do it on their machine. Yeah, not everybody has smartphones, and it's not necessary to have it. But if you have a smartphone, the way that you do it is you go to camera, and when I pull up the QR code, y'all don't do this one because it'll come right to me once you do it. So they just kind of aim it, the camera, at the QR code. It'll come up, it's telling me, you're too far away. So I get a little closer, and now it's got this yellow box around the little black square, and there's a thing that comes up, and when I tap on it, it brings the survey directly up on my phone. If you don't have a smartphone, you can just use the link and email it to them. Okay? That's like their follow-up piece from the meeting in July. But you all, when you are done today, you have the GBM QR code. And it looks similar. It's the same idea. And if you have a smartphone, you'll be able to do this. And if you don't, I'll just post that link in the team, and you'll be able to go highlight it, access it on your computer, and do the survey. They can use the same QR code every time you meet with them if you want to, because there's no point in like giving you a different one for each month. I just want them to meet with you. I just want them to be able to say, did I know what I was supposed to learn? Did I get it? Do I have any other questions? Really, that's all I'm looking for, to make sure their needs are met. Okay, that's the team. We've looked at the notebook. We know how to find the table of contents. We know how to find gradebook managers. I could click, I'm gonna borrow Carmen's here. So she has one section in her notebook, it's called My Notes. And when she opens it up, it's entirely blank. So all she has to do, the line at the top is the title. So here is, my Gradebook Manager teachers. And she could give me a list of her Gradebook Manager teachers. Just type it in, and as soon as she closes it, it's in there, and I'll be able to see it. So it's a little area that you can do stuff. If you have this page, and your teachers sign, names are here, and they sign when they do that July training with you, and you have all that information, you can use your phone to take a picture of this, and you can upload it right there into the team notebook, your notebook of the team, and I can see, oh, that Gradebook Manager already did her July training, and here it is. So why am I giving you a hard copy of this when you can upload it there? 2 reasons. One is, put your teachers' names if they come to that July training. Have them sign their name next to it. That's how they get paid. Their signature by their name saying they came to a July training. This paper, you take a picture, you upload in the team, and I'm excited because I see that you did a July training or whatever training you do. Whatever trainings you do, you can just copy this page and upload it every time you do a training with your teachers. But the hard copy needs to go to your bookkeeper in July. That's going to get your teachers paid for that time. So like I said, the line is the title, and clicking in the space lets you type, right in here on the note. Or if you decide to use insert, then it will say, oh, a file, what? A link, and you just hit it, insert your file. Okay. So that is how to use everything Teams, how to do your trainings in Teams, how to access your resources in Teams. Big question, do you write this thing up in Frontline? You personally don't, but should it be put in frontline? I am not writing those frontline trainings up, okay? Your PD person is, so should you hand them the resources? Yes, hand them the resources and get that written up. The reason I'm asking is some schools are having 2 July trainings or 3 July trainings. And if they have 3, they need to write up 3 workshops, the PD person. If you don't have somebody, I'll do it. I'm happy to help.
We do.
I just don't want to do everybody's.
Yeah.
I understand.
Ours retired. So we just
It happens. It's okay. You can contact me. Anything else? Okay, we're moving on, and now we're going to jump into focus. Yay! All right, so I'm going to close. I'm going to leave my team. I'm going to the focus landing page. Again, everybody signs into their computer. They go and they find the Focus app right down here. That this is the training app. That's what you use in July. And whenever it goes real, Focus Employee is the real site. Anything you do in Focus Employee is actually affecting your children for this year. Be very careful. Explain that to people. When you're in the training site, it's nice to see the difference. You see this little logo that says training in the top. And if you don't see that training thing, the stuff you're doing is real. So you want to make note of that to your teachers. Also, this little icon right behind training, this is the magic home button. And when you need to get back to the home screen in Focus, you just click on this button and you saw it refresh. And so I'm on the landing screen right now. My first thing to do is to show you how to get around in the Focus training and other site, and some things to watch out for. Let's look across the top. Over on the right-hand side, you'll see my profile that I'm using right now says Gradebook Manager 1. It will say your name. That's what it will say, your name. I'm using an anonymous site today because I didn't have students last year. Next, it will say the school that you're in, and then it will say the year that you're in. This is very important. Remember the year thing where she said when you're in the regular site, when they go live, it'll be the 22-23. Watch what happens if you're in the wrong year. I'm just going to do this on purpose. It went red. If you see red, you are not in the correct year. And your teachers are going to accidentally click on the wrong year, and you need to be ready to tell them and show them just you need to switch to the right year. So if I go to 2021, it's still red. The only one that's not red is the right year. So let me go to the right year. And again, this data is from last year, and that's why it says 21-22. Everybody good with that? Then you can choose the quarter that you're in. So if you want to access the students and the grades and the attendance and the discipline, you need to make sure you're in the right quarter. And then finally, right here is a list of the classes that are assigned to you. In the past, it was done by AS400, pause. And now you're going to see like the official name of the different classes right here in the top right corner. I only have one class because I'm a pretend class today. And you all will have the classes that you had last year. Are you clicking in that now and trying those things? Feel free to do that. So we want them to know the difference between the training site and the real site. We want them to know when they're in the right year. If they see red, how to get out of it and how to select stuff up here. Now look at the top ribbon. Everybody sees this? I want you to see that this one right here, school information, is bold. Do you see how it's a little bit bolder than all the others? Yes, admin, I don't know why everybody has admin, but maybe that's what they're calling the Gradebook Manager's access. So if you are on teacher, it should look the same as mine. Everybody good? All right, notice this is bold. The reason it is bold is I am actually in the school information tab. That's how I know what tab I'm in. And when I click on it, there it says portal, school information. So if I want to go to the portal, I click it and I'm there. If I click on students, notice that the student tab is going to go bold. Come on, there it is. Now the student tab is bold, and I selected student info from that tab. See, there it is, student info. And the name is up here next to the portal home button. That's how you know where you are and you don't get lost. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So if you are in attendance, notice the drop down for attendance, and I'm just going to pick attendance or absence summary. Whatever I pick, that name will go up here, and the tab that I found it under will now be bold. That's really important to not lose your way at first. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my school information. And you can see here, I've got all my school information listed here. I can print it if I want to. Notice the print buttons over here on the side. Anytime you see a print icon, they're going to be either on the right at the top, they'll be on the left, like some little dinky tiny icon. You'll have to look for it. Or you'll actually see the words at the bottom of the page where it says print. Anything with a blue link means you can change it. And if it's black or red or anything like that, you can't change any of that. So that's that top ribbon. And if you just take a second and just click in the boxes and look at some of the things that you see in each of the menus that drop down, and pick something and just notice how the tab gets bold and the title of the selection goes at the top of the page. Just pick one or two of these. And when you're done looking at some of those things, I would like you to go back to the portal top left homepage. I'm going to go back to my portal landing page. So what I want to do now, let's all go back to the portal landing page and let's look at this landing page. We're going to go below the top ribbon. This area in yellow says alerts. This is probably your most important area that you'll go to. Every morning you want to look at this. Things, you see they have blue links up in here. It's going to tell you the things you need to take care of right away. Y'all okay with that part? Alerts, very, very important. If you have not taken attendance for that day, it will show up in alerts. If a discipline report went in and the principal asked you to do more information on it, that's going to show up in alerts. So look at alerts first thing. Okay, right here, district and school announcements, there are no messages. Notice Focus University is right here. It will be here for your teachers too. So if they want to watch any of those videos, encourage them. You know, you want to learn about something, go in here to Focus University. You can look at the video tutorials. I've looked at the help and training documents. The videos I like, these I'm not real wild about. So they do have all of that. Now down here, find a student. This is heavy use. You will use it, your students, your teachers will use it as well. If they need to find a student, they can type in this box the student's name, the student's initials, or, my favorite one, just click in the box. See right there where it says search? If I click in the box and I click search, it will give me a list of everybody that's in this class. See right there? I can search all my sections, so it would be all the students that I teach. I'm going to do that. Search all sections, hit search, and there it is. It just brought up all my students. So when you want to see the students in a class, or you want information about your students, and you want to search, go ahead and do that. Now let's look at some of the features in the student search area. I have a link under this student's name. What do you think is going to happen if I click that link? I'll get information about that student. What about the little silhouette picture? It will have their picture and it is coming. It is coming. Notice next to the picture there's a little drop arrow. You'll see this picture with the drop arrow in several screens. And look what it does. This is very handy. That little drop arrow gives you a list of specific things about that student. Their demographics, their schedule, grades. If you want to add a referral for that student, this would be the place that you'd go to do it. Their test history, what's their enrollment, absences, and graduation requirements. That really doesn't apply to you all. But it's there. That's where you can find things like that. You'll also see their student number and their grade. I have a wide variety in my little test class, so that's why mine looks kind of weird. All right, so how do I get back to that search page? The icon at the top, I can do it there. There I am. And now this time, I'm just clicking in the box and I'm going to hit search without saying search all my sections. I only have one section, so now I have one class. Look at the bottom. I could print it. But I want you to remember that you really don't want to put student IDs out there, so be very careful if you choose to print something here. All right. Now, what screen am I in? I'm in, up here at the top it says I'm in the student info screen, and students is highlighted. See how that's bigger? Or bolded, I should say. All right, let's look at the different things that you can find out on a student. I'm going to click on a name. You see the icons we have up here? There is a bus icon, and that tells me that student is a bus rider. If they're a walker, there'll be this little walking person. If there's a car rider, it will have a little car picture up there. So you will know how your kids go home the first day of school. If I click on that, I don't think it does a whole lot. So here it is, bus number and AM. It tells me what bus number they're on. Wow, that's pretty awesome. Hey, do I need to print this for the parent? You know, they come in and they want to know, I need to see this. Well, you have that ability. So I want to go back. Here is a list of all the icons that we have. A red folder, you'll know the student is ESE. Yellow folder, have a 504. ELL. Peanut, the peanut means allergies, but it might not just be peanut allergy. So if you see a little peanut, found a peanut, found a peanut. Oh man, it's bad. Click on that and you will find out that tells you that they have some kind of an allergy you need to be aware of. A medical alert. Okay, so this one that has a red dot with an exclamation point in it is about, there's something required for you to read before you contact their parent.
Yep.
And you can imagine what that might be.
There's something going on.
There's something.
And we need you to be able to talk to us before you talk to them. It might be in your
Yes.
best interest.
A very important read. That's what that
We'll
means.
see that very often.
Yeah. The AD stands for assistive device. So if the student has an assistive device that they need to have with them, that is going to tell you about that. The beach ball means that is an after-school care person. There is a notes icon, and I don't know how that differs from that. Can you tell me how that differs?
The difference between notes and that is severity.
Okay.
The notes icon is there for just general information.
Okay.
Something
Okay.
that you, like, a place to put in the notes icon might be the divorce schedule. Probably where that information is going to go.
And then the three over here, green is they have an MTSS folder or PMP situation. And then we have one that says handle with care. It has a heart and a hand, and it just means, you know, be extra sensitive to this student. And I don't know why, but it's there. Yes, ma'am.
For the notes, when you said like divorce schedule, is that something that the teacher then can add?
That information is not added by the teacher.
There's a field in there that once you put something in that field, it flags that icon and shows up for the teacher. Because one of the things I was not expected to be cleared to add was that very last pink folder. So the first pink folder just means that the child is receiving some type of mental health services.
Mm-hmm.
So that could mean 1,000 different things for 1,000 different reasons. But the second one, that little hand with a heart over it, that means that child has a trigger. And the ESE added that. I didn't think we could do that. So that means that that's a particular child, and honestly, I don't expect you'll see this unless you're in an ESE classroom. That's what that's about.
So this list
Limited on what's there.
of icons is created by Okaloosa Schools. That's why it's in the team and not a list somewhere in Focus. So if you need to access this and share this with your teachers, that's the only spot I know that has all the icons on the same spot with the titles of what they are. So I'm going to go back to my focus area now. So I was in a student. Have you taken a moment to look at some of your students and see what kind of folders they have or symbols they have? Okay, super. All right, notice down the left side, these are the fields that are available when you are searching a particular student. I'm in Carolyn Aaron's file here. I got there, remember, by clicking that down icon. I went to her transportation site. But these are all the things I can see. I can see her address, right there, address and contacts. Notice it will tell me the mother, the work phone, it's okay to view this person. And there's a lot of icons in here. What about these icons? We have a little gavel. What do you suppose that means?
Mom has custody, maybe?
There's some kind of a custody thing. You might want to click to view it. I'll click it, and it's gonna, there isn't, I guess there is information in here, but it will tell me more about that. I can come back, and there's a little car, so yep, car rider, and I will have phone. Mom has custody. This is a pickup kid in the car. This is the enrolling parent, and I can see the priority for this one is number 1. This is the most important contact the student has. So it looks like 11. That's our enrolling parent.
1, 1, and then
1, 2.
Parent.
And then over here we have contact 31, contact 32 and 33. Contact priority is a 4 for this person and a 5 for this person. So that's the order if you need to call. You know, this is your order for how you need to call. They give you that. And it does identify if it's a grandmother. So that's your address and contact. Your application courses. That doesn't apply. Classified information. Student ID number. Are they an ELL student? It will give you information. Are they an ESE student with a 504? That will also give you information here. This student is gifted. If there are accommodations for ESE, that information will be in here. Testing accommodations, classroom accommodations, assessment accommodations. Enrollment information shows up here, what schools they've been at in the different years, the different school years. If you click on general, this is like the general screen about that student, including their birthday. And notice right here, this is really important. Notice in the General tab here that you have the student's email address and their password. Now, I know, and you know, that you don't want to open every single student's thing and then copy it down. So we asked Focus to fix this for us, and right over here where it says Reports on the top ribbon, click that, and you'll see the One Okaloosa ID. When I click on that button, it gives me my class that I selected up here, student name, email address, and student password, all in one place. Now, where do you find the print button for this page? It's right here. It says print. Remember I told you they're in odd locations? So if it's a screen you think you should be able to print, you're going to need to look in those different locations. I don't know why it's different. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's a little teeny icon over here. And that looks like a little teeny icon, but it doesn't happen to be a print icon. So your teachers are definitely going to want that. I'm going to go back to the student now and finish up this particular thing. All right, would you please go back to your home page, your landing page. I need to show you one other thing. When you find a screen that you really like and you don't want to hunt through the tabs and try to figure out where is that dumb thing, I have trouble with finding those things. I was lost for like the first 3 months trying to figure this out because I didn't know that little trick with what's bold and what's the title say. That's really important. So what you do if you find a page you like, let's say I'm in students and I want to see their progression plan. I don't know why I would, but imagine I would. I can do this little star button at the top and it will favorite the page. If you need to have that One Okaloosa ID favorited, you can favorite the page. How do I find it? Tell me. Go to reports, then what? One Okaloosa ID, and what's it going to give me? The class that's selected. If I need a different class, I got to click the down arrow and switch classes. Now that I have it, how can I favorite it so I don't have to hunt for it? Click the star. How do I find stuff that's been favorited? Good question. Let's go back to the Focus landing page and scroll down. At the bottom is your favorites. Once you've favorited a screen, it will always be on your landing page so you can get there quickly. The recommended ones are going to help you later on in your efforts to do grades or attendance. So we've talked about navigating the page. We've talked about searching for students. We've talked about the information that's available for students. We talked about how to figure out where you are on the ribbon and by the title of the page. We did do a search for a student, right? So if I knew the student's name, I could put the student's name in, right? So I'm going to do Aaron. And when I click, it brings up Carol and Aaron. That's how I search for an individual student. How else can I search in this box? I can do a blank search, and it will bring up all the students in that particular class. And then I could also do a search by initials. I want Carol and Aaron, CA. Click search, and I have Carol and Aaron. Did you see that? So if I have more than one student with the initial CA, then all those students in that particular period that are CA would come up in a list. And I would click on the underline, and it would bring me that student's information. All right, how do I favorite a page?
Click the star.
Click the star, and where do I find favorited pages?
Home page. Scroll down.
You guys are fabulous. I'm a teacher, and I want to watch a video. I can't remember anything that my gradebook manager said to me because I was thinking about other things during the training. How do I find out? Focus University. If I click it, I want to see the video tutorials. It brings me to this page, and look at this. There's a ton of stuff. You could get lost trying to find your information. That's why I broke it down and put the links on the team page. Will your teachers be on that same team with you? No, they will not. I can't put all the teachers in the district in a team. I don't want to do that. You are there in a channel. If you need help, you can't get into focus, or your teacher can't get into focus, who do they contact? If they can't get in, everyone can use this email. Focus Help is for access. If they don't know how to do something, that's this one here. That's you. Teachers need to contact you first, and then you can contact Titan Teleforce. How do you get there with an email? Do you know how to do Titan with an email? It is OCSDHD, Okaloosa County School District Help Desk at Okaloosa Schools. OCSDHD. That's Titan Teleforce. That's for you. But again, if it's a busy day and you don't want to wait through that queue, you have the notebook in the team, and you can go through that. Okay. We have now finished talking about navigation. Yay! So proud of you all. And we know how to get around the screen, and we know how to search, and we know all these things. Next thing we're going to do is attendance. You ready? There are 3 ways to take attendance. 3 different ways. The first way, the easiest way to take attendance is to look in the alert box every morning and go, oh my gosh, it's time to take attendance. I'm going to click where it says, you need to take attendance today. I've got one class, so I click on that class, first period class, but you pick whatever class you're in and you click on that class. It'll be a live blue link. So once I click that link, it brings me to my class. Oops, you're looking at the other one. I don't want to see that one. This is what you'll see. You'll see your students. Here they are. You see a comment box. So I'm going to take attendance, and I noticed that Addison, the bus was late. I'm just marking that. The bus was late. Or over here, she was in the guidance counselor office. I just wanted to put that in there. So that student was tardy, that student was tardy, and it was an unexcused tardy. They were good. Well, this one was unexcused. This one was not a tardy because she was like, the bus was late. They said, don't mark them late, so I didn't mark them late. They are present. The default is everybody is present. But like Aiden down here, he was absent. And Taylor was absent. So I've got my absences. I got my tardy. I wrote a couple notes just because I wanted to. And now notice the save button went red. It won't go red unless you made changes. I have to save this to submit my attendance. So I'm going to click save. And now notice it just color-coded everything. My present kids are green. My tardy kid is yellow. My absent kids are red. And you can't really tell, but see this big wide bar? First time I saw that, I'm like, what a waste of space. You know, that's weird that they did that. Why didn't they just have the square? Because this shows the student's entire day. So if the student was present in first period but then checks out second, third, whatever, you can see what their attendance was all day long. And that's a great way to catch those little skippers. You know, the little skippers? So if a teacher forgets to take attendance, and I know nobody in here has ever done that. I have. If you forget to take attendance, you can go back in and put in that attendance on that day only. This is really important. That day only. If you forget and the next day rolls around, you cannot go back in and change that attendance. And your principal just got an alert saying that you didn't take attendance. Let your teachers know that fact. That's really important. So, your principal could ask your front office attendance queen to go in and fix things, but you cannot fix things. You have that day only, and I don't know what the cutoff is.
As soon as the school day ends.
Okay.
And somebody asked about a sub. The subs will keep attendance the same way they do now.
On paper,
On paper.
not on
Yep.
cards.
But only a teacher only marks if they're here, not here, tardy. That's it. You don't decide as a teacher what that attendance was. That's not your call. That's a front office decision. So when those kids bring notes to school saying I was late, I was at the doctor, whatever, the front office is the ones who will go in and mark those excused, approved, whatever.
Your only job is to take attendance. Are they here, tardy, absent? So let's say I need to change this. Instead, that was not actually a tardy. I thought it was somebody, but it was somebody else. I can go back in and I change it. And notice when I change that button, the save went red again. So if everybody actually was here and I was completely wrong in my work, I can hit save. Now it just changed everything to green. And do you see this button up here? Click if you're not finished. When you click on that, it says this teacher has not submitted attendance. Okay? It says all green, this teacher has not submitted attendance. So it assumes everybody is here. I don't have to click anything, but if I do need to mark somebody was tardy and somebody was absent, now it's marked, I need to click save. If I say, click here if you're not finished, I want you to look at that focus site again. See the landing page? That thing that told me that I needed to take attendance is now gone because I took attendance and I saved. If I click, I'm not really finished, which I'm going to do just now. Attendance. This is the second way to take attendance. I click the attendance button, take attendance. I'm back in here. And I'm going to, I've marked it, and I want to say I'm not finished. Now when I go back to the portal page, notice that the little button is back. The alert is back. So you just saw two ways to take attendance. So the third way is to look down here at the attendance seating charts or attendance take attendance. That is a recommended page, and you be right on there and you take your attendance. And I'm going to save it. What was the other way to take it? Go to the attendance tab and take attendance. So now I'm in here and I got to change that. So I might need to select the right class. And what is the last way to take attendance? The one that I said is easiest and most people will use it? By going to the Focus portal, and clicking that link in the alert box. Those are the three ways to take attendance. Okay, so there is something that can get you off into the weeds really quickly. I don't want I don't want to go down this rabbit trail and never come back. So I'm going to touch on it, and then I want you to know this is one of those topics that we're going to give you more later on. Your teachers are going to want to dive in and eat this with a spoon. And that is, you can take attendance instead of in a list form using a seating chart. So right here says seating chart. If I prefer to take attendance with a seating chart, I set this chart up. I want you to see that. I put desks in my room, I put students in my desks, and I can take attendance using the assign button. I think that's the worst label in the world. When I see the word assign, I don't think take attendance. Do you? So you probably want to jot that down, that assign actually means take attendance. So if I want to take attendance and I click assign, this is what comes up, present, tardy, unexcused. I can click the tardy button now, come in here and say, Taylor was tardy, and I forgot to mark that earlier. Did you notice the red save button came up when I did it? So I save it, and so now when I go back to the list view, Taylor, where's my Taylor? There he is now marked tardy. So I just went to seating chart, and I made this yesterday, and I clicked assign and assigned the attendance using this right over here. As far as setting up all of this, it's not that hard to do, but if you start down this roll, you will run out of time on gradebook and assignments. I'm going to show you, and the reason I love this is notice the little picture. When pictures get uploaded, you will be able to have a picture of where your kids are supposed to sit in the classroom. And do you see the print button? Anyone see the print button? At the top, I know it's up there, right next to the word chart. You can click that and print that picture for your sub. And they could mark stuff on there and turn it into the front office. Or you could just put it on the wall so the kids don't keep switching spots.
For the sub, you mean printed?
I'm just saying, yeah, if that's acceptable to your admin for you to use this chart, your sub could take attendance on this and then turn it in. Okay, so what if I need to move somebody around? I don't like this spot for Gabriel. I can't move him. I'm clicking, I'm dragging, nothing happens. So I'm going to go to layout and students, and let's see now, can I grab and drag? I just moved Gabriel. Did you see me do it? I changed it by going to layout instead of assign. Assign means take attendance, layout means move stuff around. And now the red save button came up again because I moved them. So I click save. I don't know if you noticed, but Gabriel, when I click on him, look over here on the right. Dude's talkative. I marked him talkative because he likes to talk in my class. He's not talking in your class, but he's talking in my class. So when I do that, it's going to put him in a place where he hopefully is not next to too many students, and I can, make sure he has someone to work with, but he's not in the middle of a group that will chat with him. If I have several students that are talkative, let's see if I have several students that are talkative. I'll have to create a class to do this. So you can see how this would be a rabbit hole you could get into and not get out of for quite a while. You might not want to talk about this at the beginning of school. It just kind of depends on how much time you have with your people. I'm going to make a new chart. Unsave changes. Oh, I'll save them. Okay. I am creating a new chart. I'm going to name my new chart. I'm going to call it quarter 3. You can name it whatever you want. You can do a grid, a freeform, or copy the previous layout. Most of us do not change our chairs around that often, right? So you can do that. You do have to choose where the front of the class is. So if I want the front of the class pointing up, I choose this button. If I want it pointing like you all, I choose this button. I can tell them how many rows I want. I want 4 rows. I want 5 columns. I can link it to additional periods. So if I had 5 classes and I want to build the same thing one time and be done, I just click the link box and then I ask it to create. Now it's here. I don't really like it. So maybe I want to move it around. So I'm trying to click and drag and nothing is happening. So I know I'm in layout, which is how you do stuff. So I do need to go over here to the furniture button. When I click the furniture button, yes, I can add all kinds of funky things. Love it. Or I can go and I can, look what I'm doing. Select what I need to, grab it, and drag it. So you can arrange it the way you want. Once you get the furniture the way you want, click the Student tab. Here are my students. Carolyn needs to be in the front of the class. Oh, I did that wrong. She doesn't need to be in the front of the class. That was the wrong student. I can click and unselect it. I can come down and say, here's Joshua. He's talkative and he needs to be in the front of the class. So I can go ahead and mark what I need to mark, and then I come right up here and I have a choice, quick seat these people. When I click it, it seats them for me based on those buttons that I clicked. Were they talkative? Do they need to be in the front of the class? Now I hate this because I got all those empty chairs and I know these guys are going to be trouble. So I'm going to drag one over here, drag this one here, drag that one next to him, and I'm going to go ahead and give this one a try. Oh, there's Gabriel by himself. And I'm going to do what? Save. There's more that you can do with this. And again, that's a subject really, like that would be a great September subject. Or, you know those teachers who come in July and they want time to do stuff extra on August the 8th? That would be an amazing task for them to do in the afternoon of the training, that people could set up their seating charts. Okay, so I'm going to get out of here. How do I get out of here? I've saved it, so it's not going away. I could do the home button, right? And what were we doing in here? We were taking attendance. So one other thing, look at the attendance tab and notice there are a bunch of things up here. These are the other ways to get to taking the attendance. If you want to go directly to the seating chart, you click the tab and click Seating Chart. Attendance chart, what does that look like? Here it is. The attendance chart is kind of like a heat map. Y'all are familiar with that term? It shows all the kids in the class, all their absences, what's their daily percentage of attendance. And here are the dates. Notice it started from June the 1st. Every time you go into this chart, it restarts from the beginning of the month that you're in. That is kind of cool. And you see this line at the bottom? I can grab it and drag it, except I hate doing that. I like to use 2 fingers on my trackpad. So here is 27th, 29th. I can see who was there. Why are these not listed? How come it doesn't say anything here?
That weekend?
This is the 29th.
That's not your class.
Question mark.
That's not your class.
Not, a student is assumed present.
They didn't take attendance?
There's a line, course period does not take attendance. So that actual period doesn't take attendance. And for this student or this class, that was PE. Notice that, remember my students are all different grade levels? So some of the classes that they're in take attendance and some of them don't. But for yours, you will see a lot more. You'll see everything listed on here like it should be. So that is the attendance chart. See, it says it up at the top, attendance chart. There is the button in the attendance chart. Do you see it? Mark all present. I'm going to try it, just see if it will do something for me. Mark all present. Did anything happen? Right there on today's date only, because why? It won't go backwards and it won't go forwards. It only deals with today. Now that I marked them present, did you notice there, I don't even see a save button. It saved it. So you might need to just double check and make sure you did that. Now that I've done it, that alert is going to be gone in my alert box. What about an absence summary? I need some kind of a summary. Do you notice that I'm still in Carolyn's information over here on the right? I'm still looking at Carolyn's information. If the name is up here, you're looking at an individual student. I can see the key up here at the top telling me what all these things mean. And then I can see the totals. Should have been in here for 204 days, but attended 185. I see there is an unexcused absence on June the 8th. And that was it. And this one comes to school a lot. Other marks, all of that. And yes, I can print this. Down here at the bottom it says print. Would you look at what's right next to print? Back to student list. If you need to do this on another student, click that blue link. I'm back to my list. Now I want to look at Joshua. I click on Joshua's name, and I'm looking at a heat map for Joshua. Back to student list. I could look at Wyatt. I'm not going to see anything on Wyatt. Don't know why, but I don't see anything on Wyatt. And that is the attendance chart. Printing an absence summary. I can choose a student directly. So I'm going back to Carolyn, CA. Oops, maybe a space in the middle. And I would like to include the summary and totals and continue, search all my sections. And there's Carolyn. Here is her picture. What if I needed a couple of kids? A lot of times you need, more than one kid. So I searched CA. If I had 3 kids up here that were CA, I could choose which one I wanted. And I've selected Carolyn, and now I can preview the top right. This is what hers looks like. And yep, that looks good. So now I want to print it. I click the print button, and it looks like this. And the last on attendance, perfect and excessive attendance. I guess that's not last, second to last. If I need to see how many days they were absent or tardy, look up at the top. It says threshold. You'll see 3 tabs above that. Perfect attendance. I'm looking for the perfect attendance list. I'm looking for the excessive absences list or the skip report. Well, right now I've got perfect attendance tab highlighted. That's where I am. And I want people with 0 daily attendances, absences, I can't speak. And a time frame of the whole year. I could ignore excused absences. I'll say yes. And the red go button. You see it went red when I made a change. I want to see it. I'll click go. Who had perfect attendance and I ignored excused absences. These are all my people with perfect attendance. Wow, I have a good class. Now I want to go to excessive absences. If I had a kid who maybe had 10 absences, I can set the threshold, or I could set it at 5. Who's got 5 absences in here? I need to have a little talk with them about getting on that bus and getting here. Time frame, and then I can click go. I don't have any in my group that had 5, so I got no names. Skip report, much more important in the secondary schools. You can put a rule in how many days were skipped, greater than this, run the filter. I don't have any that works with, so you'll see nothing down here. And that was an attendance report called Perfect Excessive Attendance, and it has 3 choices: perfect, excessive, and skip. If that's important to you, jot that down. If you think your teachers will need it, you might want to look at that one. You might favorite it even. And then the last one, this one I would favorite for sure, which is attendance verification sub-rosters. Want to have a sub-roster that doesn't look like the layout of the classroom with the pictures on it? You get a sub-roster. And I didn't change the date at the top, so it's showing me attendance for like the whole time here. See that? So I'm going to go and make some changes. I'm going to be leaving, so I'm going to be out the 30th, and I'm only going to be out the 30th. So I just want that date to show. I want to see homeroom. I want to see sub-rosters for all my classes. I would leave them all checked. Or maybe I only have one class. I want to see homeroom and first grade. Well, I can tell you I don't have a homeroom, so I only have first grade. And now that I have it, do I want page breaks between each section? Yeah, I want to print it out on separate pages. I want my sub to sign because I want to know who took attendance. And I want it to be a sub roster. Notice this button, do not display student IDs. I understand we're trying to get rid of student IDs as an option because subs don't need to know that. That's personally identifiable information, and it is not information subs need. So I'm going to click that, do not display student IDs, and now I'm ready for it to go ahead and give me what I need. I will preview, and there it is. 1 day, absent, present, or tardy. They can put a little check mark in there, and when I scroll to the bottom, oh, it won't let me scroll. Let me go ahead and print it. Here is the page, and there is the teacher's signature. The teacher signature part only shows up when you hit print. Can partner teachers access seating charts? Not in your attendance. You can link sections together, so if you take attendance in 3 classes, you can make that seating chart, and you can take attendance, but your partner teacher will not have access to your seating attendance or your seating charts. This one says, if you have a homeroom attendance, can you also take attendance in the other classes you teach? If you see it in attendance as one of the
Any class
classes,
that you have the
you can
ability
take
to
attendance.
in.
What if, while taking attendance, a teacher, a primary teacher, marks in a class period other than homeroom? You have that day to go back and make changes. If you've made a mistake, then you would want to go talk to the attendance queen and let her know that you made a mistake. Because you are verifying the accuracy of what is in your attendance area. Now you know there's nobody else messing with it, so you need to be the one talking to that person. If you have a group that travels, so they are on a team and they're going to be absent and it's an excused school absence, there is a feature in Focus that is going to take that into account. The coach submits those names and says these kids will be absent for these periods on this day. They will already be done for you. You will not have to change anything for them. You'll have, it will say, is it SL, school leave? We don't know. It will say something. How do you like that? It will say something. So this says, do teachers in elementary with switch classes need to take attendance with the second class? Answer is, if you have a link, take attendance. If you don't have a link, don't take attendance. Turn in attendance. How do you turn it in? Click Save. That's what turns in attendance. So let's say you're that person and you did not take attendance that day and your principal got the alert. Are you in trouble? Just depends on your principal. They might just call you up and go, hey, could you just really quick take attendance? You know, I don't know what they're going to do. But somebody's probably going to call you if you didn't take attendance and say who was there. So somebody will be alerted, and hopefully they will get in the habit of, by this time, they'll go call people and say, let me know what happened in your room, and you'll get a chance to do that. Oh, parent calls. They will be linked. So if a student is absent, it will be linked, and the parents will get the call. What time of day? I have no idea. So this one says, what if I take attendance for a different homeroom? If you don't have the link, you're not taking attendance for a different room. So this is the district website. And when I click in here, I'm going to type Focus. This is the Focus page of the district website with information. You've probably all been there. And if you look at that giant calendar, Focus Summer 22 Teacher Training, check availability, it takes you to this page. And this page shows you my Carver Hill trainings, Central training, and the ones that have been scheduled already by the schools in the district. If it's highlighted, there isn't a training yet scheduled at that school. When the gradebook managers from that school contact me and say, this is when we're meeting, and this is the time of that meeting, then I will add it to this and it will be instantly available. Yeah, the PD person writes the workshop. The gradebook person has to decide when it's going to happen, and you'll do that by talking to each other and talking to your admin. Do teachers need to fill out a survey each time they go to training? Yes. We want to know that they know what the goals were and whether or not they got that information. And this survey is really short. You'll get to try it and you'll see what it's like. Do teachers get PD service hours for both trainings in July and August? If they do one in July and they do 2 in August, can they get points for both?
Yes.
I want to deal with discipline next. Discipline is probably the easiest of all the things that we've talked about. Basically, there are 3 things that we're going to be looking at. On the discipline tab, we're going to be looking at minor incidents, we're going to be looking at major incidents, and then we're going to be looking at reports related to that. So, I need to give you a shift in terminology. Currently, when we talk about referrals, we're talking about a major incident. We're talking about something that is going in that student's file and, can be tracked and, all that. It's a big deal. And if a kid's doing something, they're chewing gum again, they got a phone out again, maybe it's not a giant referral thing, but it's something that you've been tracking. In focus, both kinds of incidents are considered referrals. That doesn't mean they're going to trouble with the child forever. It just means they're called referrals. If it's a minor referral, the admin does not get notified. It doesn't go anywhere. You're just tracking it with this student because, you get enough of them, it may turn into a major one, right? But to start with, it's just a minor thing. You're going to mark minor referral. There's a place for that. But if it is a major incident, something admin needs to be involved in, they have to investigate it, they've got to give consequences, they are the one that handle it, then it is considered a major referral. So you have major and minor, and they're both called referrals. That's a piece you'll want to tell your people. And we're going to show you how to correct them too. So we have the discipline tab, and if you hover over that, you're going to see just 4 things. How to add a referral, how to look at referrals, how to look at students with referrals, and then the category breakdown. So we're going to start with adding a referral, and we're going to add a minor referral. So when I click on the button, it's like, okay, who do you want to give a referral to? So I have to know how to search students, and I'm in my first period class. So I'm going to send something to Taylor. Taylor's my little challenge. I'm going to click it. I only put in his first name, but this is my student, Taylor Irwin. I got the right student. Oops, it's a she. So I have to fill in this document. And I want you to look over on the right-hand side. Do you see these red X arrows? Those are the pieces of information that I have to put in for the referral to be saved and to be documented. If even one X is still up there, it is not going to be sent through. So here's how I do it. First of all, that's my student. My name, remember my name up here is Gradebook Manager 1, but on your screen it's going to have your name. Do you remember I said that? So right here where it says reporter, it will say your name. If I try to click in this box, notice I can't change anything because you can only submit a referral for your students. Hold that question that just popped in your mind. We'll come to that one. You will hear it. So student name, reporter name, that's me. Incident date. What if this incident was yesterday and I'm just getting around to making it happen? Then I click in the date and I select the date that it happened. Okay? So now I'm going to change the incident date was yesterday, the submission date is today, and I'm going to click in the box and choose what was the code. Well, this kid was taking too long at the bathroom. Excessive time out of class. That's what I picked. This is a minor infraction. I don't need the administrator to get involved, so I click the box right here that says minor infraction. And now I need to say, well, what time was this? Well, it was 12:30, on his way back from lunch. I clicked enter and it stuck in PM for me. I can actually do this, which is kind of cool. I can do, like, what if I do 12:00 and I hit enter? It puts the colon and the thing in. And notice on the right side, time has gone away, date has gone away, and now when I click in location, I'm looking for cafeteria. There it is. It was the cafeteria bathroom. I put that in. That's gone away. And now reason for referral. Taylor took 15 extra minutes after lunch in the bathroom. You can put 255 characters in this box, but honestly, who wants to read 255 characters about being late in the bathroom? So keep it short, keep it sweet. This is a minor incident. It's just for my information. I can print this off and give it to the parent and have them, be notified that way. We'll talk about notifications in a minute. But, so don't write a book. Now, if it is a major incident, be detailed. Don't share the names of other students. Student 1, student 2. And I think I have everything in here I need. If I click outside the box, this last error message is going to go away. And it went away. But I still have a save button. Do you see the save button? I have to click save. So now I have clicked it. It says this referral has been created. I can go look at the referral, or I can enter another referral. So maybe Taylor was in there with Carolyn, and Carolyn does this every single day, and I've had it up to here with Carolyn taking all that extra time in the bathroom. I know she's throwing water on the walls and just carrying on and being rotten, So I need to enter another referral. Carolyn is the same kind of thing, but it's going to be a major incident this time. So I'm going to put in Carolyn's initials, hit enter. I've got Carolyn. I only have one CA, so it brought her up. Student name, reporter, incident date. Choose my date. There's my submission date. Here is the code. Now, it doesn't seem like that would be a major or a minor incident. So what I do to make it major is I don't click the minor infraction button. I am going to ask my principal to be involved in something that involves excessive time out of class. So I definitely need to give them information on this. So my time was noon. My location was the cafeteria again. And then my reason for referral, this is the 8th time. Wait, let's see if I can do that part. There we go. 8th time. Come on. Carolyn has been in the bathroom for excessive time this month. Oh boy, I just wrote some funny things in there, didn't I? Okay. See other documented incidents. So now that I've documented all those minor ones, the principal can see the minor ones if she wants to go in and see it. But it doesn't alert her if I do a minor incident. But this child, it's major. I'm tired of this. She needs to stop it. We need to make some consequences happen. I click outside the box and I save it. Both of those referrals are now, I can pull them up and I can look at them. I can look at these referrals and see what's going on. So here is Carolyn's referral. And I want you to notice this box. Here, the information across the top is what I did. But this box says reviewed by admin. And there's an X. When I hover over the X, it says what? No. So my admin hasn't looked at Carolyn's referral yet. All right? So if I need to send her, they may be really busy with something happening and they'll get to me and call me up and say, send up Carolyn, right? So I send her up and when they review this actual referral or whenever they get to it. You know how that is with offices. When it has been referred, it will have a green check mark there. And when you hover over it, it will say yes. So you'll know if your principal has looked at this referral and done anything with it. Okay?
It automatically goes to them?
Yes, they get it in that alert box on their portal. So it shows up, discipline referral from Miss Bears for Carolyn, whatever her name is, Erin. So that's how you know if they've dealt with it or not. And over here, notice this thing that says closed, because I need to explain what closed means. If I hover over it, it says no, it is not closed. So you cannot have two green check marks in reviewed and closed. Closed does not mean it's reviewed. So if the admin has dealt with her and called her parents and given her in-school suspension or whatever the thing is, whatever it is at your school for the district, and it's done, it'll have a green check mark. That means it's done. Everything is done if you see a green check mark here. Closed means that the admin looked at this report and said, that is not something that I am supposed to be, or I need to deal with. That's not actually a major incident. I talked to the student and she's actually got health issues and she needs that 15 minutes. She's not playing around. We might need to have some other conversations. This is not a discipline referral situation. So the principal may choose to close this incident, which means that student no longer has this discipline report on their file. There are times where that's reasonable to do, and that's what that option means.
So you said that would be a green check mark if it was in the...
If it was closed, if they determined this was not the student being naughty, and you see a green check mark here, it will be, that means it's closed, nothing is being done after this. It's done. But it was not serious enough to be reviewed by the admin with consequences. It's almost like the titles are weird. You know what I'm saying? So reviewed means admin dealt with it, and it's complete, it's in their file. It is in there. This, there was something wrong with the referral, and we don't want it there anymore. We've removed it from the child's record. That's what closed means. And it could be something like another teacher, somebody noticed this kid is in there playing in the bathroom or whatever, and they have somehow, I don't know how they would, tried to turn in a referral for that student, because you can only write a referral for your student. So you can't get, now maybe it's me and my partner teacher, and we both write the referral. We didn't know that the other person did. So one might be dealt with and one might be closed. The kid doesn't need two referrals from two teachers for the same event. We just need one. Does that make sense? Yes? No?
Yeah.
Okay.
So because they also have that student on a roll.
Yes,
that's
they were
assigned.
able.
So like for primary, the PE teacher can.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So
Can they see the minor ones? Did you say?
they can see what they've written.
So like they can pull up all the minor ones that
Yeah.
we put in?
They can pull up the major one if they wrote it. They can look at it. So let's look at the reports a little bit. We know how to do a major and a minor. We know the difference between them. We know that they're all called referrals, right? We know about the red X's on the right-hand side and how to get rid of that. How about, I want to go back now. I want to see, look at the top here. I'm in discipline, and that's bold. I'm in referrals. That's the title of this page. Y'all looking up there? Well, these are some other things that I can do. I can look at this other information about this student while I'm on this referral page. I can look at their demographics, their schedule. I can look at their grades, their absences. I can look at all this stuff just from the referral page. And if this principal does an action down here, it will be recorded down here at the bottom. Action recorded. That's really nice for you to be able to go back and see what was done. All right, so we got that. I can print it by coming up here if I need to do something, printed. I have a report. I have a meeting with the parent, and I want to show them this report. I could print this. Parents in their parent portal, when it goes active, can opt to see and be notified if their child gets a referral. It's not going to give them all the details. It's going to say, your kid was in trouble and they got this referral. That's it. It's not going to give them details.
When the admin chooses to select it as closed, would it just automatically delete it, or would it switch it would they be able to switch it to a minor so I don't have to input it again?
You can switch it to a minor.
Okay.
You can. And if I can find the right screen, we'll be there and we'll do that. So if I'm going to go back to discipline, And I want to see the referrals for Carolyn. I'm going to click on it. Here's Miss Carolyn. She's got 3 referrals. Wow. And this was a minor infraction over here. This one was processed because she defaced some property. And right here, I can see the one that I put in. Here it is. And I put another one in because she did it the day before. And so now that I know that she's missing and it's not really a misbehavior, I could go in and do something with it. So I'm going to click on her name. It will bring up the referral. And where is it? There it is. Minor infraction, no administrative action needed. I can say, I was wrong. That was not major. It was actually minor. Click the minor button. Click Save. Now when I go back to her list of referrals, I think I can get there this way. No, it won't let me do that. List of her referrals. There it is. Minor infraction, or the admin can just close it. I don't see the button that lets me delete it. Do you know if there's a delete button? You don't think there is? If I sent it to the admin and the admin determined it was not something to be dealt with, then they would close it. And if it's minor, it never gets to the admin and never really does anything anyway. It's really for your tracking purposes.
And while this is in training mode, when we're showing this to our team members, can we write one and it's not going to affect these kids?
I just did, yeah. So that's not, Carolyn is never going to see that. Yes. Just make sure you're in training
mode.
not in the real site. Okay, so now we know how to do minor, how to do major, how to change major to minor. We know what the report looks like. We know how to print a report. So like a lot of teachers, if there's a minor infraction, they want to print that report and have the kid take it home and have the parent sign it, right?
Teacher codes, what if there's something they did that's not one of your teacher codes?
Like fighting?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a question that comes up. You want to, maybe you're going to have, I don't know what you're going to say, your principal will eventually tell you, okay, if they're fighting, let's put disrespect down. That doesn't make any sense to me. But the thing is, there are some codes, like fighting or something, that get automatically reported at the state level. And there's been no investigation yet. So something like that is not actually on there until that investigation happens, and then the principal can go in and input additional things that will get that reported at the state level. So that's why you won't see all the codes. I want to say there were like 100 codes at one time, and they just kind of pared them down to the bare minimum. And that might be a question for your admin. What do they want you to click on
They are
that?
still possibly adding codes.
Oh, are they? Okay.
This is what they've got so far. They may not add some more, but they have the ability to add more as. they
And that's
get
coming
into
from the
some-
discipline
yeah.
committee of
Yeah.
the district. That's who's determining that. Okay, that's a good question. I like that. Yeah, so if you're having a meeting with a parent and you know your kid, that kid has got like upteen gazillion minor infractions, and you've had a meeting with the parent and the parent's ballistic for, I can't imagine why, but if there was one, and they go and have a meeting with the principal can pull up all those and see what you've written and, potentially share that with the parent. Okay, so I did hear that if it was an incident involving 2 students, you have that kid's name is in there, but you're not listing the other kid's name. All right, so that's discipline and how to look at the referrals. And now students with referrals. This is not going to give me any kids that I don't teach. It's only going to give me the kids I do teach. So I clicked in the box, I hit search, and these 4 students that are in my class all have referrals. So again, I can click on the picture and look right here. I could add a referral from this if I needed to. That's interesting, isn't it? Or I can click on their name, or look right here, I have the icons. I can see if there's some issues that I need to investigate on my own a little bit, refresh my memory. It was a bus incident. Who do I need to talk to? I can click on the bus and I can find that little piece of information. So we have a lot of options. Ah, did I just close it? No, I'm okay. Whew, got me. So I can do that and I can see what's going on here. Also, I could include minor infractions or get rid of minor infractions. And now I'm only looking at major infractions on my screen. I can look at it in a time frame. Maybe I don't care about August. I really want to see from June the 10th to June the 29th, I want to see all the students with at least one referral. I come over and I click go. It's really located kind of weird, isn't it? But I just want to point that out to you. So now these students all had their referrals in the month of June. June was a hot month. So I've been able to pull up reports. I can look at them all. I can see what's going on, and I can print it if I need to. Finally, there is a category breakdown. If I need to have a little bit more information, I want to see for the whole school year, the month and the year. I have to select it. Any action record, any attendance. I want to see it by attendance code. Maybe I want to do that. There's not enough data because I've made up all this stuff. Location. I want to see where these things are happening. How about that? It will give me a nice little graph. Cafeteria, classroom, homeroom. I can download it and print it, or I can see it. See right here where it says column, pie, and list? I can see it in a little pretty picture if I need to show pretty pictures to somebody. I don't know why, but there you go. Maybe for a BIP or something. Am I going to now see the whole list of every bad thing a kid has ever done in their life and they never get a chance to start over? Maybe that's in advance. Let me see if I can remember.
You can go back to I don't know if it's previous years, but there should be a way to pull up previous disciplines like there is currently now in the AS100. It'll either be by previous years or it'll be on that list.
The more search options, I'm not really good with this. I'll just tell you, I'm not great at doing these advanced searches. But this is like if I needed to see just second grade or just third grade. I want to search all the sections I teach. Search the entire school, I think only happens if you have access to the entire school. Because you won't be able to see a referral written by a different teacher.
We could only write referrals for our students.
Yes.
If we are out on the playground and it's another
Some other
teacher's
student.
but you're the one that witnessed it and the other teacher was not there.
We don't know the answer, but
No.
we've sent the question.
Probably it'll be a paper and pencil, but I don't know because you don't have access to them in there. There may be a way, but
Yeah. Or
we'll find
maybe you have to go give a report to somebody and then they put it in. I don't know. But that's information to be determined. All right, now, the most important thing, gradebook and assignments. Whoa, they were agreeing with me, weren't they? All right, so at the top of the page, on the ribbon, there is a tab called Grades. Notice it is the second tab. This is the one that we do to get to the gradebook. Let's click on Gradebook and just see where it is. We're looking at the gradebook. Now there are some things that have to be done before a teacher jumps in to do grades. And they need to be done at the beginning of the year. And this is the thing I want you to tell your people. Set it up at the beginning of the year and then leave it alone for the first year. Because if you change halfway through on some of these things, it can affect the grade. So think about, this is one of those afternoon tasks, setting up their grade book. We want them to do it slowly, carefully with your assistance. This is one that they ought to do. They can set up how it looks, okay? So I want you to notice this says 6:28 and this says 6:30, but that says 6:16. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Because the due date it seems off a little bit. And it has to do with, I think I have it selected to line them up by the newest one first. So I actually put a due date on this one, but I did this one on Monday. But I created this one on Tuesday, and it has a different due date. So I just want you to see that it can get off. It can get a little wonky sometimes because the setting I have is I want to see the newest assignment first. Our current gradebook always lists the newest assignment last. Teachers now have the option to decide how it looks. They also have the option of setting up their gradebook one time and having it affect all their classes. So they don't have to go in and try to remember the settings for each one. They can set them up all the same. That's one of those things that we have to do here at the beginning. There are 2 places that they're going to be making these settings. Now, I would write this down. Just giving you a heads up. I would write this down. There are 2 places that they will need to adjust settings at the beginning of the year. The first place is under My Information, and we will do that. And the second place is under Settings. Those are the 2 places where teachers will need to adjust their gradebook at the beginning of the year. We want them to set it and forget it. So if I go over here and I click Attendance, do I even have, like if I go to Seating Charts, do I even have a Settings button? No, I don't. It's only when you're in the Grades tab, Gradebook, here I am, I can do My Information and I can do Settings. Those are the things that we need to do at the beginning of the year. Those are the things I would hope that you will make sure your teachers have accomplished by the end of August the 8th. Okay, so I'm just kind of talking general about settings right now. So let's go to My Information first. And we're going to come down to Preferences. Jot that down. Preferences, Preferences. This is kind of a weird looking little page, but it's got 2 important things on it. You can decide, like when you do highlights, what color you want them to be. That's not important. It's just a thing. You can decide to use a sidebar menu. I tried this the first time, and I got so discombobulated I couldn't figure out where anything was. So you might want to demo this. I don't know. Let me show you. So if I do sidebar menu, I click it, I come over here and I hit save. Look at how my screen just changed. Totally different. Now suddenly I'm using icons on the left-hand side. A lot of the focus people use that. I find it annoying because then I have to look at it and try to figure out what it means. But it is a choice that your teachers have. If they don't want to see that long ribbon across the top, then they would see this on the side and see the little red bar. The little red bar tells you which tab you're in. So I'm going to uncheck it because I get lost when I use that one. And I'm going to save. You can decide how the date format looks in case you're one of those English people, woohoo, or European people who put the date first. No, not the date first. What do you do? The day first, month, then year, right? So you can set that up however it pleases you. And then down here, configure gradebook separately for each section. I don't know why anybody would do that. Notice that it's not checked to start with because most people, if I want my latest assignment first, I want it that way with all my classes. I don't want one to be one way and the others to be another. But if they do, okay, they can click that box and do that. On the other hand, if you want to set it up one way the same for all your classes, then you would leave it unchecked. Sound good? Now notice this box down here, Combine Sections for Gradebook. This is the one everybody asks about. So if you've got that 6th grade and 7th grade in that math class and you need that all put together on one gradebook page, one attendance page, this is where you combine them. This is it. This is the big spot. You have 2 ways you can combine them. Click that box for me. Combine Sections for Gradebook. It's going to give you a choice, by period or by custom groups. Custom groups is one of those topics for way later in the year. Do not burden yourself with custom groups at the moment. That is something that you may think is cool later or not, but we don't want to talk about that. That's just too complicated at the beginning of the year. But if you do have more than one section happening during the same period, you click by period. And if you don't, if everything is all good, don't click the box. Just leave it like that. All right, does everybody know what to do with this? That is My Preferences under My Information. Now that I've got it exactly like I want, notice at the top I have Student Listing. So student listing, this is how do I want to see my students listed? You can actually customize this. That's a really good thing to have. Columns and student lists, you can select columns, email notifications, and would you see up here at the top, class section names? I knew I saw something. So I got Baker School, I got, this is my course title. It's not blue. There's nothing on, it's not underlined. I can't open anything, I can't click on it and change it. So this is where it tells me I can't do anything about it. All right, so we have looked at our display options. We've made our adjustments. We clicked save. We're done setting up anything in my information in preferences. That one is off the list. Now let's look at the other one, the one called settings. So go to grades, go to Gradebook, and now come all the way over to settings. In settings, you see this little pop-up that came in? You've got, the tabs are at the bottom. Who does that? I don't know, but they're at the bottom. You've got viewing options, so the way it looks, the configuration, the way it works, groups and grade colors. Groups and grade colors again. We are not dealing with groups and grade colors. Put that one away, say don't worry about that for now. Fiddle-dee-dee, we'll worry about that tomorrow. Viewing options and configuration your teachers need to set up the first day of school, or first day of our training. So our viewing options, I'm going to tell you what they do, and then you can tell them what they need to do. Grading legend, we recommend you have this clicked, and all it does is whenever you're in Gradebook, watch my mouse, and I hover over the words grade legend, it shows me what the legend is. And if you're a kindergarten teacher, it shows you what the kindergarten teacher legend is. That one is totally different. It's L1234. Weird, huh? But that's what they got. They understand it. They know what to do with it. It's all good. All right, so that's what that box is. It just puts it on the page so you can look at it. Do you need to include inactive students? I don't know. That might be one of those buttons that you go in and set it and forget it. If you want to see the kids who've been removed from your school or from your class, you need to check that box. And your gradebook will always show your active and your inactive students. Down here, the grading cells. This is very important. In the cell, this is a cell. See this little area down here? Right here. I'm in an assignment and I have a number and I have a letter, but I don't have a percentage symbol. I've selected points and letter. If I want to see percentage, I click percentage and I click apply. Now my cell is going to show the points, the percentage, and the letter. Okay? And I can choose right here, when I'm on one assignment, I can enter my points by, I can enter the grade by points, by letter, by percentage. But preferences, this setting that we're doing, is deciding what we see. So even if I needed to change this grade, and I want to enter it as 76 points, see it says points, I could have changed that and said I want to enter this grade by percent. So when I put a number in, I'm actually entering a percent. See how I did that? I hit enter. It saves automatically. This is changes by whatever you're doing. The settings is the preference of what shows up in that cell. Points, percentage, letter. I think this is too much information for me. I feel boggled. So I do percentage. I don't even have to do letter. I can just take that out entirely and apply. Now you only see that grade. We do have Z's, and a Z means the same. It's a 0 because they didn't turn anything in. We do have X's, and the X is excused or excluded. I kind of like that word better, exclude. That is not going into the student's average. You can click on any grade and you can change that grade like you watched me do several times. Hit enter and it saves. You can add a comment. Here's a comment. I added a comment here, and the student redid the assignment, raised the grade from 12 to 74. Wow. I should definitely get my stuff accurate. I like it when I put a note in there. So how do I add a note? Double click in the cell and this button comes up and it allows you to add a comment. You can do bold and all that kind of stuff in here. You could link to the document actually. You actually could put in their assignment in here if you had a link for it. And you can choose to highlight this. I'm going to highlight that 87 and close. So, can the parent see the notes you write here? Notice over here there is another note section. So this is a note that goes with the student's name. I can put a note in there. Notice right here it says visible to student and parents. If I click that box, this note will be visible in the parent portal. And I can say, what would I say on a note like that?
What, is this kind of similar to like on the report card when you can add those codes that lets parents know that like, you know, they're off task or talkative in class, you know what I'm saying? The conduct. Yeah, like the conduct.
This is not conduct. This is a note section, and I don't have guidance from anyone as to how you should or should not use this. All I know is that if you choose to write in that section next to the student's name, that you can make that visible to parents and students. Or you can choose not to make it visible to parents and students. The one that's next to their grade, this is just kind of in the back of my brain. I have that yes, they can see this on the parent portal, but I don't know where to find that information to guarantee it for you. So if you've jotted in, you know, Billy turned his work in 2 days late and got a 20-point reduction, the parent should be able to see that because it's attached to the grade. And that kind of makes sense. Okay, so we have looked at that little piece. Let's go back to settings. You see my cell now only has, how I chose to enter the grade, which was actually, I'm entering it by percent at the moment. I can do points is my what I want to see, and I can see percentage too because for some reason I'm just going to do both. Look at the optional columns. Right, these are the optional columns in the middle next to the student's name. Do I want to see their grade level? Sometimes you do. Do I want to see their semester average or their full year average or their student number? This is where you would check that. And this is also where that gradebook group thing comes in that I told you just worry about that some other day. We're just going to worry about that some other day because you can actually group your students within the gradebook in additional ways, and we're just going to say later on that one. Also, assignment column headings. How do you want your assignments to look? I added an icon. Now that I added it, I think it's a little distracting. It kind of bugs me. So I'm going to take the icon out. I want to see how many points or questions this assignment is worth. Nah, I don't really want to see that. I just want to see the due date. I'm just randomly picking here. And I'm going to apply. Now when I look at my gradebook, see how clean that is? I've got the title and I've got the due date. If I want to change something, do you see the letter I in the title, in the header? Right here, this gives me a chance to get more information about that assignment. The I is for information. So if I hover over that I get more information. And if I click on it, which I'm going to do here, I can choose to edit the assignment. I'm going back to all. So look at the 4 tabs: all, totals, category, assignment, and plus. And way on the right-hand side, reports, that's important, and settings. All those things relate to Gradebook. When I click all, I see all my students in this class up here in the top. Remember, I've selected my class. I see their names. I see my little notepad that I don't know what I'm doing with it yet. I see the name of the student. So when I click on that picture thing, notice again, I can check their schedule, check their grades, add a referral. All of that I can check from right within the gradebook. And then let me look at totals for a second. Now that I'm in totals, notice I have 3 colors at the top. I have 3 categories set up, and I'm pretending I'm a secondary teacher at the moment. So mine are pink, light pink, and blue because I'm secondary. If I was in elementary, it would already be set for you. You would have green and you would have yellow. And that's it. Your categories are set. But since I'm secondary, pretending to be, I have 50% hot pink, 25% light pink, and 25% blue. So I can see my hot pink categories. I haven't done any assignments at all in the test category. I better get on the ball. In my classwork homework, if they average all my classwork homework together, this is the grade for that category. Remember, all shows everything, all assignments. Totals shows me averages by category. Now if I go into category, look at how it changes. Do you see the little window that opened up on the left? Okay, so now, let me see if I can, that doesn't scroll over, does it? No, it doesn't. It shows me that I have 3 categories, and this is what secondary needs. If I click on category, this is how I set up my categories. Currently, I have a test category that's 50%, a classwork homework category that's 25%, and a quiz category that's 25%. You see that? I have it all in here. Maybe I want to edit this. Maybe the idea of having my quiz category be 25% is not a good idea. I want to be more in line with what everybody else is doing. I click the edit button. And this is where you set up categories. I say, I want my quizzes to be blue. I'm going to still go with that. But I'm going to change my quiz and watch what happens when I do this. I want my quizzes to be 40%, no, 50%. And this one, the one that says automatically drop the lowest blank grade. You can do that. And you can say, I only want to drop the lowest one. I want to drop none of them. I'll put a 0 there. Or I could say, I'm going to drop 2. Man, if you're dropping 2, I hope you're getting a lot of grades. But you have that option. You're the one in charge of that. And you follow whatever guidance you get on that. This is where you make that happen. This is it. So I need you to look at this word, linked sections, linked marking periods. Watch out for the word linked. Link means like a 3-legged race. What one section does, the other section has to do. So if you have, let's just say you teach 3 English classes, 3 English 1s, whatever, and you set up an assignment for one of them. If you link your sections together and you go in and change the due date for one of those sections, it automatically changes it for the other 2. You're going to have to go in and undo and change that stuff individually because it automatically affects it. They're linked. That's a good thing sometimes. The other option is copying sections. So if you make an assignment and you want to copy it to another section, you can select which section you want and it copies that assignment. Those are not linked. So if you change the due date on one, it won't affect the other section. So copy and link. Tell your people about the difference in those. And remember, we went in and our whole purpose in here was to adjust my category percentage. When I click on this and I say save, it's going to go, oh, you have more than 100%. And there it is. Category weights don't add up to 100%. In other words, Miss Bears, can you add? Can you even add? I have issues, don't I? So now it shows me that quizzes are 50%, Tests are 50% and classwork, homework is 25%. So, I need to lower one of these. I'm going to edit my test. I click on test, and now I'm going to edit it. And instead of being 50%, I'm going to change this one now to 25. I'm not telling you what your percentages should be. I'm just showing you how to change stuff if you need to. Okay? So we have looked at the categories. What if you need to add a category? You have a project and you want projects to count for something. Then you would choose new category. And I'm going to set it up. I'm going to say a project. Project is going to be worth 10% of our student grade because they're done at home and I don't really know if parents are doing it or not. I don't have any links. It's just linked to first period and we're not dropping any, so I'm going to hit save. I didn't choose a color. Why didn't I choose a color? Edit, color, click the button. I want it to be green, save. Now I have that category. My percentages are still off, right? Quizzes are going to be dropped to 40%, so I can make everything equal 100. And I've just like bored you to tears doing all this detail and minutia. You can see why they're going to need assistance if they're secondary and they're setting up categories.
Because if they're elementary, they don't.
It's already
Categories
done.
will be preset. Perfect.
It's preset. You can't change it. You
Yes,
can't do
it's already
diddly.
gonna be in there.
Can't change the color. I think the only thing you can change is if you're dropping a grade. Look right here on the left. I'm in category. You click on category even if you're elementary. Look at the bottom. It will show you your categories. You will not have a new category button. Now go to assignment. Everybody go to assignment. I see my categories over here on assignment. I see them, but I can't edit them. You don't have yellow or green?
If they're in homeroom and you teach other sections.
Oh, that's it. So get out of homeroom, get into a class. What a relief. I was like, what's wrong with our profiles? Click the plus sign to add an assignment. And now I'm going to give it a title. Remember that project thing I was working on? So I'm going to call this the Me Project. There it is. And I want to give it some points, 100. I want the grade to be 100. The category is not quiz. I'm going to make it a project. Here's my due date. Now the due date will come in like either today or tomorrow, depending on what we do in settings, and we haven't done that yet. And I'm going to choose my marking period. This is the copy, and this is the link. You see that? It's on this page. Look at it. Copy is over here. There's a little button. If I want to copy it in other sections, all those English sections, I would choose my sections down here, but I don't have any sections. But you would. Or I could link it to sections. Where's my little button? If I want to link it to all of them, I can choose which one I want to link it to, what sections. If this is one of those grades where it's 100 points and everybody gets 100 points on this thing, there is an autofill button. That's how you do it, right there. I can put in the number of questions, but I don't have to. Once I've got the basic information in here, all I have to do is hit save. Yes, I can add rubrics. We're not doing that today. Yes, I can add resources like a handout page, but we're not doing that today. And then there are this thing called options, and I'm not doing that today either. We're just doing details with your people. I hit save, and that assignment is now created. Remember I said it was a project? I'm going to go back so I can see the whole gradebook. There's my new project. It's the Me Project. It's green because it's a project. And I've got NG, which means I have not graded it. It is not graded yet. So when your parent looks in the portal and they see an NG, It is not graded yet. So let's go to settings, back to settings, and let's look. We dealt with optional columns, we dealt with general, we dealt with the grading cells, and the assignment column headings. Remember we did all this? Now come down to configuration, and these are some other choices your teachers need to make. Do you want all assignments to default to 100 points? That's totally up to you. If you need to change, maybe your assignments are only worth 10 points and you want every assignment to be 10 points. That's up to you. I'm going to leave mine at 100. Do I want the assignment to show up today in the gradebook or tomorrow? That, honestly, guys, it is not important. It's not important. Think about it. What does our gradebook pause do now? It does it right away. Does it bug you? If it doesn't bug you, you can leave it on today. If it's going to make you happy to turn it to tomorrow, click tomorrow, because neither one is going to matter. It's not the due date. It's just when does that assignment show up in the gradebook for parents, students. That's all it's about. Okay, so you pick whatever you like. Down here, new assignment method. This is where you're going to choose, do I want every single assignment to be linked to some other assignment? Click linked. Some people want that. Do I want to copy every assignment into the other similar classes? If you want it to create a copy automatically, click that button. It'll save you time. You can still go in and edit them if something happens. Or do I just want to pick every time I make an assignment, do I want to select each time? I'm happy with that button. That one makes me happy, so I have that one clicked. It sounds very similar.
Yeah.
So I'm making an assignment for that project, the Me project. Remember, I teach 3 English classes. So I could copy. I like it. Copying is good. If every time I make an assignment in one, I want it copied in the other 3. But maybe I have one class where, and it always seems like something happens to this class and we get shortchanged. I don't get enough time. I've got to put off something till the next day. I don't know, there's just something about that class. Maybe it's the first period of the day and I just don't teach as well the first period of the day as I do the others and stuff gets pushed back. If they're copied, I can go in and I can change the due date. I can, adjust stuff without affecting the other periods.
So the link would
The
be
link,
the same assignment.
everything is in lockstep. You change something in one, it changes in all. Awesome. Okay, so we've dealt with new assignment method and assignment sorting. Here's your big choice. Do you want the newest assignment first or do you want it last like we have in pause? So, hold that thought. Do I want it to go in by due date? Remember, mine was not by due date. Do you remember how it was all out of order? I can say, nope, I want it by due date. That's it. That makes me happy. So I don't know, if I do it by due date, it might go this way or it might go this way. I need to find out. So I'm going to hit apply. And look what it did. It made my newest one first in order of due date. That's cool. I like that one. That one makes me happy. That's the best one yet. Or do I want it to be alphabetical? I don't want that. That's weird. Publish date. What about category? Category looks like this. There, I put all my categories together. All my greens will go together. All my hot pinks will go together, regardless of the due date. Whatever makes you happy, you get to click. Whatever makes your teachers happy, you get to click. Going back to settings. I like that due date thing. I'm going with that. Notice down here, this one is super important. This bottom part. Automatically save all changes to student grades. If your teacher doesn't have that clicked, those grades are not going to save if she closes a button. Does the red X? They're not going to save. I suggest every teacher click that button, save automatically. The next one, weight assignment grades by category. I suggest you click that one too. If you have categories, whether you set them or the district sets them, I suggest you click that one. This one, add assignments to all sections of your course by default, that's going to add an assignment into all sections. So if you're teaching 2 sections of ELA and 2 sections of social studies, and you put in the Me project in ELA, I think it might give it to you in all of them. So I wouldn't check that one. Secondary might want to. Does that sound okay? Okay, so I have run out of things to do in this one. I'm going to apply it. We've done our settings. I need to point out a couple of things. Those kindergarten people. Your kindergarten people, see this thing right here where it says enter grades by blank. I need you to look at this. You see that? Kindergarten people can only enter grades by letter grade. Write that down. Kindergarten teachers can only enter grades by letter grade. And I'm going to show you on the board because I don't have a kindergarten class to show you anywhere else. Kindergarten has this scale, L, 1, 2, 3, 4. And an L equals what grade? It equals an L. Kindergarten understands this. Other people don't really get that. And a 1 equals a 1. And a 2 equals a 2. And a 3 equals a 3. And a 4 equals a 4. These are letter grades. And these are their grades. That messes with my brain. Kindergarten teachers understand. If they're going to enter a grade for a kid, and they say, I want, it's a grade, I'm going to put in a 3, then they put in a 3, then their letter grade is a 3. That's what they get. But if this is changed, if they don't enter by letter grade and they put in a 2, it will automatically convert it to a 4. And that's when you go, oh my gosh, this is totally wrong. You don't have to understand their grade book. The only thing you have to tell them is they have to enter grades by letter to make it be accurate. Weird, I know. I would write that down and give them that tap and say, let's read this together. You know. Okay, so letter grade. On every assignment, every single assignment, they have to choose letter grade. And it's not set up so we can make it happen for them. Believe me, we tried. We contacted Focus and we said, hey, fix this. And they said, well, it kind of defaults to letter grade. But those kindergarten teachers, when they're on this page, they could go in and think, oh, I need to put in points, thinking 4 points. If they do that, everything's going to be a 4. Everything. Just tell them, don't mess with that. Okay, I'm scaring myself now. All right, we've done all about settings. We've done all the preferences in my information. We looked at how to build an assignment right here. We looked at you can do a new assignment when you're in the category. Like I could go to test and I could start a new assignment, or I can do an assignment by clicking the plus sign. 2 ways to start an assignment, by the word assignment or by the plus sign. And I can come in and edit stuff if I want to. Maybe I'm looking at Me project and I'm like, that's a bad due date, I need to change it. I'll just double click. Is anything happening when I double click? No. Come and click my I, click to edit. Now I can come in and change my due date. I want to change my due date to 7/03. I could set a time. Isn't that weird? I could set a time. And I hit save, and it's saved. And there it is. There is this concept down here called posting, and that's where a student posts, types a message in, and they might even post a message to other students about their work. We are not dealing with that. Thank you, right? Yes, later. Later, Gator. Okay, so we have now done assignments. We've set up our grade book. We can filter stuff, and that's what the pluses and minuses are. I took the filter off, and did you notice that went away?
Oh, it's a different.
And then right here, I can export or print. And I know you were looking for that, weren't you? Yay. So we can do that too. Way over on the right, there is this button that's called Reports. Let's see what that does. This gives us gradebook reports. We can see missing grades. There are 5 reports I want you to be able to share with your people. Missing grades is one of them. All these students are missing a grade because they haven't done the Me project. So I could come in here and I could say, well, Carolyn got a 75, and I hit enter, and notice it moved up. Did you see it? You didn't see it, did you? Let me do it again. I'm going to do Joshua. Well, Joshua has a missing grade. I'm going to put in a 55. When I hit enter, Joshua's going to go away because it's no longer missing. There it is, it's gone. I could have one kid that's missing 3 things and his name would be on here 3 times. All right, so I can put a comment in. Addison, had a power outage. So I extended, oops, can't spell. I extended due date 3 days, whatever. And I can sit OK, and now Addison has a comment, and that's why there's a missing grade, and I'll get around to fixing that before I have to submit my grades to the end of the quarter, whatever. So I can click in here and just do all that. Or, guess what? There's a faster way. Let's save. I want to go to this Me project. We've already done this Me project, and I want to give everybody else a 100. So here's my Me project. I'm going to click the I, and right in here it says autofill. So I'm going to put in 100 points because we all did it in class. It was great. I loved it. I'm going to save. Watch what happens for my missing grade report. So I'm going back to reports. Now I barely have any missing grades. And Addison is the only one whose grade didn't show up because I added a comment. She gets 3 extra days to do it. I want her to do it. And I know she's going to get 100 when she's done because she's fabulous. Okay, so that was the missing grade report. All right, so now we can look at excused grades, extra credit grades. How do you do an extra credit assignment? Let's just go back and look at that because you might need to know that. I'm going to go back to all. I'm going to actually hit the plus sign, and I'm going to create an extra credit grade. And this is my digital citizenship grade. I want to give them an assignment at the beginning of the year to know how to be safe and how to be kind on the internet. So I'm going to have 2 questions in here, a couple of things that I want them to do. I've got everything done. And this is completion only. I just want to mark that they did it. Now that I have everything in, there's my due date, blah, blah, blah. I don't see anything else. Here's the description. All right. Go to the site, watch the video, answer the questions. So, can't spell. One more. So, there we go. Now that I've got it, I hit save. When I go back to my gradebook, here is my digital citizenship, and I can click. This one did it, that one did it, this one did it, oh, that one didn't. This one did it, this one did it, this one did it. Click over here. Will it come in? It's not letting me do anything. I don't have that box that lets me write a comment in there. Now I'm done. Let's say I'm done with this and I want to do a missing grade report. Let's see if that comes up. Doesn't come up because it's extra credit. Did I click extra credit? I did completion only.
Yes.
Completion only. I said extra credit?
Yes. That's why I was like, oh.
I'm sorry. That's like more water, less talking. Let me go back and look at it. Here's my digital citizenship. What did I do for this? I said completion only. That means there's no points. I do have 2 questions in there, but they're not points. I could autofill it, and my autofill now just says complete. I'll click complete because we all did it and we're fabulous. I'm going to save, and now when I go back and I look at the assignment, everybody is filled in. Do you see that? And there's no points given for it. It's not extra credit. It was just a completion grade. Maybe you've got something like, I sent a letter home and the parent was supposed to sign the letter and send it back. I can mark that kid complete. It's really useful to be able to put that kind of thing in there and not affect a grade. So I'm going to reports. I'm in Gradebook. I'm going to reports. Failing grades, if you need to see the failing students who are failing, it will give you a report of that. I could include missing grades or inactive students. I can save this report. We'll talk more about that. I thought we could print this, and I don't see a button. I'm going to leave that one alone. Extra credit grades highlighted. Transferred students. I got so excited when I saw transferred students. I thought it was like pause, where a student comes in and you click on it and you do this, that, and it brings in an average of their grades. This does not do that. It just looks lovely and it doesn't do anything. So I don't know what good it is. It's just going to tell you if a student transferred in, but you're already going to know because they transferred in. So I don't know what the process is yet for you to get their actual average to input in the gradebook.
There is a process, it's not at this level.
Okay.
So it is.
Talk to your guidance counselor, right? Progress reports, you are definitely going to want to do progress reports. So, if I want a progress report of my entire class, what do I do with this search bar? Nothing. I just hit continue. I do need to choose stuff over here. Do I want to see all my classes? Do I want to see the gradebook notes? Remember those things? Do I want to include an attendance survey on that child's report? I'll say yes. And I'm going to say gradebook notes because I want to see what it does. Do I want, I do want all my classes. I only have one class. Or do I just want to show stuff like this? Missing, failing, or excused assignments. I'll hit continue. And now I have, here's my class. I could print for each student, or this is later Gator, email. Later Gator, don't even worry about that. I don't even know if that works, so don't even worry about it. I want to preview the report. How many do I want to preview? Do I want everybody or just one person's? If I want just one or more, I can click just those students. I click 2 people, and I'm going to hit preview. Now I see here is Carolyn's, and if I scroll down, here is Christy's. So I have 2 pages only. I can see all my assignments, the grades they got. I don't see any comments except that one says not for points. Let's see. I guess this isn't one that I put a comment in for. Oh, misgrade. I wrote that in next to the grade, where I had put the grade in and I put it in wrong. So I erased it. I put in the right one. I clicked it. I put a note that I had misgraded it when I graded that paper. So now the parent can see that that has been changed due to my misgrading. Here I have a weighted grade, test grades, quiz grade, project grade, and the next student's work down here. So that is how you do a progress report. I'm going to close that. I'm going to close that. And now I'm going to look at blank gradebook. What? This is awesome, you guys. Do you want a blank gradebook sometimes? Yes. And there it is. It's just totally blank. And yes, it has a print button. Yes. Show your people that. They like that. All right, so I think I've covered missing grades, failing grades. We talked about extra credit a little bit. I didn't show you a report of that. Transferred students isn't real. progress reports is real, and blank gradebook.